You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody out there is going to spend any time watching the replay, this once again, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw in the chat box. I should try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. As soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. And plus, instead of me just rambling on like 30 minutes or so, it's nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, it's the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one's called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them and all. So if anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. I can use all the support I can get. And then finally, also in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. The top one takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. Basically, and I say this in all my videos, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and the Facebook page all pretty much called the same thing. It's called like the New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, a moron like me, I can remember. I don't know what's the group called, what's my YouTube channel, is my page called something. It's all called the same thing. Makes it really nice and easy for an idiot like me, right? What do we got? We have over 3,400 members in the group. It's 7 days a week, pretty much 365. Sometimes, if I'm on vacation or whatever, but I try to get stuff in here, as much as I can. But usually what happens after I get done going live, I'll spend the next couple hours putting stuff in the group and in the page, which I'll go over in a minute. And not only do I put stuff in here, but the members post stuff in here as well too. I try to get, if I can, like up to about 10 different things every day in here, whether it's a post, something showing some stats, a video, just a picture, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which is my personal favorites right there. I try to get it in there. And then also the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. Okay, it's a page. So I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one that posts anything in there. All right. But what do we got? Oh, went to the wrong one there. But it's the it's the same thing. We're over 1,400 likes. We were at 1,300. We're over 1,300 likes for quite a few days. Now we're at over 1,400 likes on the page. We have over 5,000 people following the page. So it's really doing good. Really doing good. But it's the same thing. I try to get, up to like 10 things in here every day if I can. As I said, same thing, whether it's a post, a picture, a video, something making fun of the Eagles, Cowboys, whatever. I try to get as much stuff in here as I can every day. And I don't really commingle them. So basically, whatever I put in the page, I don't put in the group for the most part. And whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. Unless it's something maybe really juicy, making fun of the Eagles, right? I mean, because that's the reason why, that's why I live. That's what I breathe. That's what I exist for, to make fun of the Philadelphia Eagles. So if I see something that really makes fun of the Eagles, I'm just sharing it with everybody. So I'm putting it in the page and the group. But other than that, I just try to keep things as separate as I can. Right. So if you go to the to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day. And like I say in every video, right? If you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. What's up, Terrence? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whew. I call him, I guess, like Spider-Man or something. I mean, you just throw the ball in his air. He just, I mean, he's got the hands just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, he's not like, what I'm just, he's not like somebody who's like, going to like take the top off the defense or something like that. But, man. Because the way they're good at scheming, like Kafka and Dayball, as far as scheming guys open, getting guys to go this way and getting somebody sneak out this way, or getting somebody to go over here and this way and get somebody to come across them, or whatever. The way they can pretty good at scheming guys open. He don't need a lot of room out there, but he's good at, man. Oh, Teddy Belcher, ultra wide 21-9. Kids play wide receiver. Get value players at wide receiver. So you're saying don't go for D Hopkins? You're not a D Hopkins fan? There's a bunch of, I'll tell you what, there's a bunch of teams. I love your 98. Thank you. We're going over to 1937 tonight. Oh yeah, I've seen you. I saw your comments. Yeah, we're going 1937 tonight. That's the first year Sammy Baugh. That's the first year that the Redskins went from Boston. They were in Washington, and the Redskins, Washington Redskins, they went to the championship game, not the Giants in 1937. But there were better times ahead for the Giants, that's for sure. Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, we got a whole bunch of people in here tonight. What's going on, guys? I tell you, with the thing that, what do we got? Where's he at? I got 7,500 tabs open here. All right, we got this one article that goes ranking the NFL player the playoff contenders that, I don't know, it's weird. I saw this one here that need DeAndre Hopkins, and one of them they put in here is the Eagles. The Eagles need him, really? Yeah. The thing is that, which I can't stand because I freaking despise the Eagles, is the thing is with them is they, according right now, they have, was it $12 million? Over $12.5 million in salary cap space, and also DeAndre, he was talking about there was 5 teams or 5 quarterbacks. Was it Lamar? Of course, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert. Who was the other guy? I can't remember who the other guy was. There was 5 quarterbacks he talked about. One of them wasn't Daniel Jones. But the Eagles, they got like over $12.5 million in salary cap space. And the thing is, like with their GM Howie Roseman, he puts like all these like void years on and everything. I simply watched season 4 and season 104. Very good. But with Howie Roseman, I'll tell you, he adds these void years on. He get all these. I'll tell you, I mean, you got to be. I mean, the Eagles would be freaking scary if they would wind up to get somebody like him. Now, I don't know if the Giants would. I mean, the thing is, he took a big cap hit. I mean, I'm shocked. Not him. The Cardinals did. What did I got? Oh, here we go. Arizona made the move 3 seasons ago by acquiring Hopkins in a blockbuster trade with Houston and eventually signing him to a $54.5 million contract extension through 2024. The soon-to-be 31-year-old Hopkins would have counted close to $30 million against the cap this season. His cap hit in dead money is $22.6 million. So they're on the hook for that. But for the Cardinal, the good news for the Cardinal fans, if you want to call it that, is that he'll be off the books in 2024 when the team figures to be more competitive. So, I mean, they $22.5 million in dead cap space. Now, the thing is, so now this year wouldn't be so much jonesing for some money. The thing is, could somehow the Giants get him, on a, I don't want to say cap friendly, but I mean, if they would be able to somehow get him affordable this year, and then obviously we signed him to a couple of years, and obviously the next few years his contract would wind up ballooning up. Then of course there was the video showing DeAndre Hopkins with working out with Saquon. Of course they say it in this article here that a lot of times a lot of good athletes wind up working alongside each other. But Hopkins was captured a few weeks ago working alongside with Saquon Barkley. And it says, while it's common for star athletes in the NFL to perform off-season work with players from another team, that viral video still brings a lot of substance into the possibility of Hopkins heading to the Giants. So they talk here about, let's see. Now, the Giants have, according to Spotrac right now, $4.6 million in salary cap space. They'd have to wind up, obviously they have to free some money up. If they could ever sign Saquon and free up a little bit more money, they could have closer to $8, $9, maybe $10 million in cap space. You certainly don't want to use all of that. They can also, once again, sign, if they were to bring him in and sign him, you give him a sign-in bonus. His first year cap hit would come way down, but still, it would have to be at least $5, $6, $7, $8 million or so over the first year, I'm thinking. And he's also somebody, you don't want to wind up signing him for like a 5-year deal because he's going to be 31 this year. But I'll tell you what, he's been remarkably healthy. If you look, he was taken in 2013. Okay, so let's go 2013 to 2020. Sorry, I'm so stupid. 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, his first 8. So this is going to be his 11th season. All right, had a lot of sense, but his first 8 seasons, he missed 2 games. He missed 1 game in 2019. Don't know why. He missed 1 game in 2017. I don't know why. So in his first 8 seasons, he's missed 2 games. Now, last year, he missed, I think it was 6. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. He missed 6 games last year. Okay, he was suspended. Okay, on May 2nd. The NFL announced that Hopkins would be suspended for the first 6 games of the season for a violation of the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. So the thing is you start thinking, is he starting to take something so he can stay at his elite level? But he also missed. Let's see, what did he finish? He finished with 64 receptions for 717 yards in basically half the season. Where are we at here? So he played 9 games, right? So basically, about half the season. 64 receptions. So, he was on his way. If he played the whole season, he would have had 100 receptions. And that's playing on an Arizona team that was not particularly good. The year before that, he only played in 10 games. Now, the year before that, let's see, in 2021. All right. After the Thursday Night Football loss to the Packers 24-21, Hopkins missed the next 3 weeks with a hamstring injury. In week 14, he suffered a torn MCL and was placed on injury reserve on December 18th. He finished the season with 42 catches for 572 yards and 8 touchdowns in 10 games. He was ranked 37th by fellow players, let's see. So where was he at? So this is last year. He was questionable with a hamstring last year in one of the games. It was questionable. Then he was questionable with a knee, and he was out with the knee in the final game of the season. So, he missed a few games last year, and then the previous season in 2021. Let's see if I can find Hopkins here. He was questionable with his ribs in look like week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Week 8, he was questionable with a hamstring. Week 9, hamstring. 10, 11, he was out with a hamstring. Then he was questionable with a hamstring. Then he went on injured reserve for the final 1, 2, the 5 games of the season. So, he obviously missed some time in 2021. But he was been remarkably healthy throughout his career. But the last couple of seasons, he did take has taken a little bit of a couple has had a couple injuries here. Now it says, where are we at here? Also, it shows here in one of the articles, it talks about Julio Jones at age 30. Julio Jones locked into a 5-year, $87 million contract with the Falcons that included $64 million guaranteed. So that would be $17.4 million a season. If we adjust that forward, DeAndre Hopkins could be in line for a $20 million per year deal. Though at age 31 is not on his age is not on his side. And I mean, a 5-year deal, I mean, that would be, I don't know who would sign him for 5 years. I mean, that's just at that, I don't know about that. For a couple of years, the thing is that in a shorter period of time, you got to sign him for X amount of dollars annual salary. You got to guarantee him so much money. So there's one or two ways of doing it. Is either if you sign him for, like, say 3 years, you can keep his salary cap somewhat low, but then you have to add like void years on, maybe to the end of the contract, where maybe he's not on the team, but you're still actually, his salary is still on the books. So you're not paying him because his money's already would be like paid out to him. But, or, if you're going to want to pay him $20 million a year, it's going to wind up being where this year his salary might be $10 million. Next year his salary might be $20 million, but then the third year his salary would be like $30 million. Now, is that something along the lines of what the Giants want to do? Come up with pay a guy who's 30, what would he be, like 31, 30, like 33 years old, pay him like $30 million the third season. I don't know if he wants to be interested to see. I mean, because he might want to go someplace just for a year, just to test the waters, and then maybe try to make a big contract, because he's got some money. He's got money coming in this year. That's without question, because he had a lot of dead cap money. But there's one article. It says ranking. Let's see here. It says the Giants is ranking the teams, the NFL playoff contenders that need free agent wide receiver that need them. Playoff contender number 6 would be the New York Giants. It says strictly from a need perspective, there isn't a playoff contender in the NFL who needs their services of DeAndre Hopkins more than the New York Giants. And it says, as Patricia Traynor reported from Giants country, New York's current wide receiver room is, we have a lot of twos, right? We don't got a dog. We don't have a dog. I mean, I love Hodgins. I don't know if he's a 1. Right, you can count on some good stuff from Slayton. Maybe a couple drop passes too. Wan'Dale Robinson's coming back from an injury. Colin Johnson's coming back from an injury. Shepard, who had a few on OTAs, which I'm going to go over in a minute or two. He had a few reps, but he was still on the sideline working with trainers. We have Hyatt. Okay. But can he be that, even Bryce Wheaton, but we don't know if Bryce Wheaton's going to see the field this year. I mean, if he does freaking incredible, hell yeah, put him right with that speed and all. But are they number ones? I mean, is Hyatt a number 1? Well, hey, if he is, all right, we got ourselves an unbelievable steal in the 3rd round, unbelievable. But I mean, the evidence that we have at hand right now, I don't think he's a number 1. Meaning, like, he could just totally dominate. I mean, if we're talking about maybe taking the top off the defense, spreading the field and all, oh yes, absolutely. But is he somebody that can just dominate at all areas of the field, short, medium, long? Don't know about that. As I said, if he can be, bring him on. I said we got Slay. I said Colin Johnson's coming back from an injury. So we don't have a true number 1 dog. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, of course, if Shane didn't at least pick the phone up and at least entertain, I think that would be a shame. It says here, although the Giants have quantity at receiver, we have quality too. without question, we have, and don't forget about Paris Campbell. We have, this is quantity. We have quality too. But I said we got like a lot of 2/3s slot. We don't have the straight up dog. It says here there are questions regarding the quality production of the collective group might be able to yield. Trainer said Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins, rookie Jalen Hyatt, and Darius Slayton are all figured to be locks for the roster spots if healthy. Still, none of them have ever had a 1,000-yard receiving season, nor drawn the kind of attention that Hopkins has in his career. Now, I'm saying if you can just, you get Waller, what's he do? Draws attention. Beyond Daniel Jones, who you going to have? Saquon, what's he do? Draw attention. You got Hopkins over there. What's he going to do? Draw attention. You can only draw attention to so much. I mean, you can only double team or so many guys, right? So, let's say now. That's if we got what the hell? I mean, Jesus, goodness gracious, Hopkins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's had 6 seasons of over 1,000 yards. 2016. He had a season for 954 yards. His first season in the year in the league, he caught only 52 passes for 802 yards. He has 71 touchdown receptions in his career. He led the league in touchdown receptions in 2017 with 13. It doesn't really unbelievably take the top off. I mean, one season he was averaged 14.4. His second season he averaged 15.9, which is certainly very good. But he doesn't, necessarily take the top off. He dominates a lot underneath, not underneath, but not deep, not long. But my goodness, he had 111 receptions in 2015, 115 in 2018, 115 in 2020, 104 in 2019, 96 receptions in 2017. I mean, he's playing with, not the greatest of quarterbacks so, my goodness. As I said, the shame of it is, is his age. It says here, the Giants brought in veteran tight end Darren Waller, but that doesn't change the fact that Daniel Jones doesn't have a go-to wideout. The Giants have a room full of number 2 and number 3 receivers. Oh, well, I just brought that up. But not a number 1. Hopkins would fix that. But there are a couple of reasons why Hopkins to New York isn't especially likely. For starters, when Hopkins recently rattled off a list of preferred destinations and quarterback, it says which he didn't bring up Daniel Jones. But he's not going to stand there and rattle off 38 different teams, right? Of course, he's going to rattle off, the best teams, right? He's not going to rattle. Oh man, I love to play with the team that was 2-13 last season. I'll tell you what, man. He's not doing that. He did. He talked with Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. I think it was Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and it was somebody else he talked about. Now it says here also another one of the reasons why going to him isn't especially likely is the money or lack thereof. The Giants have the 7th least cap space in the NFL, less than $4 million. So it's if you look at Spotrac, they have like $4.5 million. But signing Hopkins would require clearing a fair amount of cap space through restructuring. And the one thing is, I'm not sure if they want to do anything with Adoree Jackson's contract or Leonard Williams' contract. It doesn't maybe particularly see. I said, maybe with Leonard Williams, maybe they want to see if he can make it through the season healthy. Then they would probably be the first one, on his list of places that he wants to go and stay and play with, right? To the Giants, if he stays healthy, maybe the Giants, try to offer him some type of contract. I don't know if the Giants want to maybe extend him for a couple seasons, take his cap hit this year and bring it down. But then if he's not healthy, right? With his neck, you never know. He's played a lot of snaps. I was listening. Somebody said he's played in his career like 6,000 or 7,000 snaps. That's a lot of snaps. That's not even including college. He's played in a lot of snaps. So, let's see. So while there may not be a team where Hopkins would make a bigger difference, the Giants are a long shot. Then also in this article here is they got the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, could you imagine him going to the Chiefs with Mahomes? Holy cow, and Kelsey and the rest of the guys. Wow. They also have the Buffalo Bills. Could you imagine Josh Allen? And could you imagine Diggs and Hopkins? Holy Minkia. Wow. Oh. And then I forgot who the tight end was that they drafted. They jumped in front of the Cowboys. What was the guys? I can't remember the guy they drafted. But I mean, wow, watch out there. The Dallas Cowboys. Could you imagine that? I mean, this would be a splash you can see Jerry Jones wanting to make. This is a splash also Howie Roseman would want to make as well, too. Because the number 2 team in this article, they have that somehow they say needs him. I don't know why they need him. They got DeVonta Smith and A.J. Brown, but would be the Philadelphia Eagles. Could you imagine them putting Hopkins, Brown, and Smith out there? Oh, my goodness. And Dallas Goedert, too. Wow. But the number 1 team that they have in this article, all right, it says the Bleacher Report, is the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, you have OBJ out there and DeAndre Hopkins, some older guys, but you got Lamar running around. That would be quite enticing. I mean, those guys, if OBJ can stay healthy, Hopkins can stay healthy, and Lamar can stay healthy. Tell you what, that would be a heck of a trio for those guys. I mean, that would be. But I mean, do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I mean, we need the number 1. However, it's money. We're trying to get Saquon signed. Haven't had him signed yet. So do I think it's going to happen? No. I mean, as I said, I can see some of those other teams certainly going in. The thing would be scary with the Eagles who would wind up getting them. I mean, Hopkins, Brown, and Smith. Wow. And Goddard. Goddard's a very solid tight end too. Man, it would be tough to beat. It would be tough to cover. Very tough to cover. But so we'll have to keep. He's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants to. So we'll have to monitor it. Maybe the Giants pick the phone up. Maybe he has a visit with him. Who knows? I mean, as I said, it would be nice because he was where he was working out with Saquon, right? Wasn't working out with one of the Eagles. Didn't see him working out with ABCD Lamb. Didn't see him working out with nobody else. I saw him working out with Saquon. So, right. Then I saw there was the OTAs. They wrapped it up. I mean, well, the third day they wrapped it up. Now, one thing was there was a lot of guys, that had they're working on the sidelines with like work with the trainers on the sidelines. Now, there were some of the guys that we knew working on the side. They had, I guess, out of the red jerseys on, but they were just working on the sidelines with trainers. Now, obviously, we know some of them, like Wan'Dale Robinson, who was obviously coming off an injury from last year. Sterling Shepard, Marcus McKeithen, Ellerson Smith, Aaron Robinson, all right, and Darian Beavers, right? Those guys were on the sideline working with the trainers. But there was 4 guys who must have had possibly some type of off-season surgery that you really don't know about. 2 of them, like Micah Polk and Tyree Phillips. I know Micah Polk obviously was on the practice squad. I'm not sure if Tyree Phillips ended the season or was on the practice squad the whole season or not. But he was they were on the sideline. Those 2 guys were on the sideline working with trainers. So apparently they maybe had some type of procedure done and they're not fully ready to go as far as participating. Then there was also Jason Pinnock and Dane Belton were on the sideline as too, working with trainers. Now they must have had some type of off-season surgery / procedure done. When I was reading and hearing this, maybe Dane Belton had something on his shoulder done, possibly, maybe. So that's why he might have been on the sideline with working with the trainer. But then as far as with Pinnock, he might have had some type of a surgery or procedure done in the offseason and is just trying to recover. Coach Daboll was talking to the media, and I guess it was just after the practice was over. I guess it was, and he didn't go into, he wasn't talking about Saquon. Of course, there was like 342 questions. It was really kind of funny because because he specifically says, Saquon, I'm not talking about Saquon. So of course, like the second or third question is, so what's going on with Saquon? Do you think Saquon's going to? That's between Saquon and the team. So then the next idiot comes up. Yeah. So what do you think Saquon? Does he think he's going to sign? I mean, you're looking for him to sign. No, I'm not talking about Saquon. So then the next idiot comes up. Yeah. So if Saquon signs, it's absolutely, it's just unbelievable. But so Daboll obviously didn't really talk about Saquon, but he also really didn't go into depth and detail about these guys that were injured. But he also said that, it's totally impossible for them all to be at the same stage, all like 2 days away from being able to be totally healthy and on the field. I mean, all these guys, the different procedures they had and stuff like that, they're all at different stages. It's almost impossible. All these different injuries the guys had, the injuries came at different times of the season and all that. All the guys healed differently. All the guys are differently, they heal recovered faster or slower or whatever. So it's absolutely impossible for them all to be, everyone, all 8 of them, they're all about 2 days away. Yeah, in 2 days, they'll all be healthy. One guy could be 2 days away. One guy could be 5 days away. One guy could be 2 weeks away. Another guy could be 3 weeks away. Another guy could be 4. It's totally impossible for them all to be. And some of them, you don't even know how long they're going to be. I mean, it could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks. You don't know. But there was quite a few guys on the sideline working with trainers. Now, hopefully, it's only May. So if we knock on some wood, okay, hopefully all these procedures and all are all done with, and we're working toward getting healthy, right? The one thing the one injury that, if you want to call it, and I'm not exactly sure what it was David Sills went up for a pass from Tyrod Taylor. It came down. Apparently he was down on the ground for a little bit. He came up. He was like limping a little. It looked like maybe he was holding his ribs or something like that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, see if anything comes from that. But he did walk off the field on his own power. So we'll just have to wait and see. But so David Sills was so far in the first 3 days, apparently he was the only casualty. And it may not even be anything. He went up, I think I was seeing was like with one hand trying to come down with the ball, but he landed hard, and maybe he might have knocked the wind out of himself. Right? That's a possibility. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. One thing Patricia Traynor was talking about, all right, she said that there was a lot of deep balls, which she hadn't seen, which is good, which is really good. I mean, that's something you really want to see. Yeah, a lot of deep balls. She said she counted. Now, of course, there's no physical contact. I mean, there might be a little touching or whatever, but there's no holding the guy up at the line of scrimmage or this, that. I mean, but she said Daniel Jones, I think she said, was 19 out of 20, and she said the one incompletion she saw was she thought there might have been some type of miscommunication with Daniel Jones and Bellinger. But other than that, she said that the balls did not hit from Daniel Jones were not hitting the ground. They were right on target. So she said Daniel Jones was looking good, right? Another thing she said, which because she's there, this is what you go, you want the eyewitness there watching the practice, coming back and reporting it to us. Instead of hearing like hearsay or this say or whatever, she mentioned, because she's been following for, I was like 20 years or 30 years. It's been quite a few years she's been following the Giants, but she goes to the, when the press is allowed to be there. But she noticed that there was a lot of separation as well, too, which things may not have been like that in the past between the receivers and the defenders. She said Sterling Shepard got a few reps in there, but I don't know if he was going full speed at all or anything. So that's kind of promising. Shane Lemieux was taking some snaps at center. So, I'm not sure. I mean, if we have Shane Lemieux, then we have Bredesen, of course, we're going to have Michael Schmitz. She did say, I think the starters were Thomas, Bredesen, Schmitz, Glowinski, and Neal. Those are the starting five. But I mean, other guys got in there and all. They should have said Lemieux was in there. Lemieux obviously is not even a lock to make the team. I mean, we have so many guys there. I mean, if you start thinking about it, right? If you can put him maybe on the practice squad, but I mean, think about it, right? If we got Neal, Glowinski, might be the last year for Glowinski, but Michael Schmitz, Bredesen, and then we got Andrew Thomas. But then, of course, Zudo ain't going nowhere, right? So that's 6 guys. How many guys are we going to keep on the active roster, and how many are going to go on the practice squad? I mean, they drafted McKeithen. Now you got to remember also they drafted McKeithen in the 5th round. Shane Lemieux, who has proven not to be, can't stay healthy the past 2 seasons. McKeithen went down last year, so he's 0 for 1. He's coming to bat for the second time. He's 0 for 1, so he couldn't stay healthy at all last year. So he's 0 for 1. But pretty much Shane Lemieux is 0 for the last 2. So Shane Lemieux's coming to, he's got 2 strikes on him. But plus, he's not even part of this. He's not a Shane or Dable guy. They didn't draft him. He came with the store. He came with Kmart, right? He came with the team. But they went out of their way and they drafted McKeithen, but they drafted him in the 5th round. Shane Lemieux was drafted in the 5th round. So I mean, if it comes down to something like that, certainly doesn't mean without question that because they drafted McKeithen that Shane Lemieux has no shot at it. Of course, doesn't mean that. But it's because they drafted McKeithen, they drafted him for a reason. He's got a little bit of a leg up on Mr. Lemieux. So I mean, how many other guys? Also that too. Okay. So if we got those 5 guys and we got Zudo, so that's 6. You need a swing tackle. Got to have a tackle. So I mean, as I said, whether that's Parrott or Corey Cunningham or Tyree Phillips or one of these other guys, right? So you got to have another tackle. So now that's 7 guys. And I said, I know they keep at least 8 on the active roster. Who's that other guy going to be? I mean, that's where Nick Gates always comes in such, because Nick Gates, you can throw that freaking guy anywhere. I mean, he may not get an all-pro effort out of him, but he could play tackle, he play guard, he play center, he can play anywhere. So basically, Nick Gates will be on it, but obviously Nick Gates not there, anymore. But so if you're going to have a tackle and a Zudo as your 2 backups, who's your other one going to be, right? So that will give you at least 8. Are they going to bring 9 guys to a game, have 4 backup offensive linemen? I don't know about that. I think they bring 8. So, I mean, Shane Lemieux's not even, guaranteed to even make the starting 53. So we'll have to wait and see. But let me say, who else? Oh, obviously Waller. Waller is just, I mean, he's having a phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, so far. It says Daniel Jones, let's see here, was a major reason why Darius Slayton resigned with the Giants instead of going elsewhere. Let's see. Slayton and I would have been kind of crazy to leave. Yeah. They connected on a few deep passes that could have gone the distance. Let's say the 2019 draft classmates showed their chemistry again on Thursday and found the end zone once. They also connected on a few deep passes that could have gone the distance. So always don't forget about that. I mean, always got, there's nothing like a security blanket for a quarterback. I mean, he knows Slayton. He knows Slayton might drop a ball every now and then, but he knows Slayton. Slayton knows him. They don't have to work on pass patterns. How does he run this route that he knows? Security blanket, Saquon Barkley out of the backfield, right, or whatever, right? So having Slayton is very, very important. Says the offense was clean in the turnover department for the second consecutive practice. So the first practice, the first OTA, they had the one tip ball. Javarius Owens tipped it up in the air, and Tolman Fox came down with it. I think it was in the end zone. But out of the 3 days, they've only had one turnover. Now, obviously, there's no contact, there's no physicality and all that stuff. So it's kind of difficult. That everything is skewed in the offensive direction. But, all things considering, they were out there. They only had one turnover. Pretty impressive. Top plays, it said before the Giants began 7-on-7 drills, Coach Daboll checked which way the wind was blowing, and it was blowing out there today. Didn't matter for Jones, who right off the bat threw a deep pass to tight end Darren Waller into the face of the wind. The franchise quarterback showed his arm strength more than once on a blustery day in East Rutherford, and Waller was frequently on the other end as they continued to establish a rapport on and off the field. Daniel says, I've always been impressed. Waller said, I've always been impressed with Daniel. Arm talent, intelligence, funny guy. He's got a lot of personality that you got to really see once you get to know him some more. Let's see here. Second-year cornerback Cordell Flott and Owens, the seventh and final selection of the 2023 draft, put the defense on the board with 2 pass deflections. Wide receiver Paris Campbell racked up a handful of receptions as the former Colt continues to acclimate to the system. So keep an eye out on him, boy. Don't forget about Paris Campbell. Man, if that guy can just, I'm not saying he's going to be a number one or not like that, but I mean, his speed, if he can start getting acclimated and all and everything, man, awesome. Really looking forward to him. So now there's 7 practice OTAs left. May 30th and 31st, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, I guess. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Friday, I believe that would be. Yeah. So next week, Tuesday, because Memorial Day is Monday, so there's nothing going on Memorial Day, which would be the 29th. So Tuesday the 30th, Wednesday the 31st, and Friday. And then what do we got? Friday, 3, 4. Okay, then the following week is Monday and Tuesday, the 5th and the 6th. Then Thursday and Friday. They have the June 8th and the 9th. And the mini camp is the 13th to the 15th. So we got some stuff going on. So then obviously after that, then, they have there's a little mini camp. And I think that's after the mini camp. I think that's when they take like a 6 weeks off, I believe it is. Oh, is that what it's been? 30 years she's been? Yeah. Okay. 30 years. Yeah. So she's been doing it for a while. Yeah. So the thing, she knows a lot of stuff. I mean, it's like, she'll come up if you ever listen to her podcast or the podcast reaches YouTube and all that. She'll be like, yeah, I remember in 2006. I remember Tiki Barber one time. Man, I remember so she knows a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. And the nice thing about her, she doesn't dumb it down, but she talks in language that I can understand her. It's some of these guys out there I listen to, they take themselves too seriously, and let me see what kind of terminology I can come up with that'll confuse the heck out of everybody. Or let me see how smart I mean, they bring up language and stuff like that, and after they're doing the talking, I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So that's why I like with Patricia Traynor. She way she explains everything like that. It's like I'm not like, what? So that's why I was like, I enjoy listening. There's so many other guys out there. I'm just like, I don't pay no attention to. So I always try to listen to her, especially because she's there when the press or whatever they're allowed. She's there. She'll be there next week. I guess the one day next week. I think the 2nd or whatever. I think next Friday. I think she said she'll be there. So yeah, so that's why I always try to listen to her. She does a really, really good job. She's been there a long time. She does a very, very good job. Well, all right. Terrence, good talking to you, buddy. It's been 44 minutes. Anybody spent any time watching me? Thank you. If anybody spends any time checking out the replay, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And that means the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.